Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we will be interviewing the legendary host of Trey's Chow. He'll share the recipe for his success. That's just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I'll tell you what, when a broadcaster interviews another broadcaster, you know it's going to be a good show. We were joking. Trey Chapman is my guest. He's the host and restaurateur extraordinaire with Trey's Chow. Thank you for coming on the show.
Sir.
We were
Appreciate
joking
it.
just before we went on the air. I could probably ask you one question, go to the restroom, come back 15 minutes later, and you'd still be carrying the show. So I'm so impressed with you and your branding and your just image. Tell us how it all began, because I understand your family's been in the restaurant industry.
Yes, sir. Yeah, 1905, the first restaurant, Lacey's restaurant, sold hand-rolled cigars, farm-to-table food from one of our farms in Lake Worth, outside of Fort Worth.
No kidding. So it's in your blood.
In our blood.
Okay, so now, how did you start your TV show?
Well, we sold all our restaurants in 2005, and I started writing for Fort Worth Magazine. And the guy I was writing for, my blog really took off because I just know restaurants, no food. And I decided, you know what, I want to do more. And they were making some changes, and so I went and started left Fort Worth Magazine, started my own deal. And it just kind of blossomed from there. I started the website and started blogging, and then now it's much more than a blog. Now I do it all. But that's how the TV show started.
Well, you have so much personality. We're going to roll a clip from a recent show.
Okay, here we are, everybody, back in for another edition of Trey's Chow Live. In the house, I have 1050 Barbecue. How you guys doing today?
Good, thanks.
One real quick before I go into my stuff here about going on locally, nationally. Where did the name 1050 come from?
That is our address.
That's
Real
your address.
creative.
Nothing fancy.
Okay, because I sat for 2 days and figured out, was it a smoke? Was it this? Was it that's address?
That's right.
We tried to get cute with it, but just 1050 North Central Expressway.
So what are you going to do when you move? Are you going if you do another location? You going to call it 1050 still?
It's a good question. I think we're going to stick with the 1050
Right.
name.
You got to stick with. You can't rebrand it.
That's right.
Call it 1052, 1053.
Yeah.
See, now I could just watch you all day long. Where did this personality come from? Have you always been this way?
Yeah, I've always been this way. My granddad was that way. My dad was that way, and I have a whole plethora of males, of alpha males in my family. Even the women are alpha males. So it just kind of all came that way.
That's wonderful. Well, tell me more about the show and the show's success. And do you produce it yourself?
No, I don't produce it. The Country Network produces it. What I did was, there's a lot of cooking shows. Somebody approached me about a cooking show. We were talking about cooking shows, and there's just so many cooking shows. I wanted a show that highlighted the chefs and the restaurateurs and what they go through on a daily basis. How did they get to where they are? Where did they get their creativity from? How did they get the funding? And so I highlight each restaurateur and each chef as their own brand, and I help promote them because they can't do it themselves.
we've got to talk about COVID-19 because I know you're close to so many restaurant families. It's been brutal for the industry, but I'm very proud, especially here in Texas, of how resilient restaurateurs are. You see it on the front line. What are you seeing?
You know what? We talked about that today on my show today. I had celebrity chef Blaine Stanford from Grace and Little Red Wasp, and that's exactly what he said. I asked him the same question. He said to me he is proud of how much support Dallas-Fort Worth has given their chefs and their restaurants, because people could have folded up and not. In other parts of the country, they have not. But people have done takeout. They've done delivery, and they're in the restaurants. Matter of fact, he's sold out on the weekends. Back to being sold out on the weekends, which is great.
Well, you and I are both big fans of Emily with the Texas Restaurant Association, and she told me that she's had a really good relationship with Greg Abbott. She understands that he's in a crisis, and the last thing he needs is somebody, asking for too much. And I think that's one of the reasons why the Texas Restaurant Association has been so strong throughout all of this.
Yes, you're exactly right. It's her direct line to him and his team, what they've done. Emily's done a fantastic job. They are out. That whole organization changed when she got hired there.
Yeah, she's a perfect person to lead that organization.
She is, and she's smart.
So what do you say, as you look into your crystal ball, what do you see for the Texas restaurant economy?
Here's what's going to happen. What's going to happen is there's going to be a lot of them close, but there's going to be opportunities for new ones. As a matter of fact, there's new ones opening up now. And what's going to happen is a lot of them are going to be so broke they're going to walk out and leave what's there. And so you're going to have an opportunity for a lot of new restaurateurs to come in for a little money and to make it happen. So I think on the positive side, the restaurants will come back. There's just going to be some new and different concepts.
Yeah. Well, I think what a lot of people don't know, especially if they're not in the restaurant industry, is that the margins are very thin on a restaurant anyway, right?
Yeah, very thin. Unless you can sell a lot of alcohol, it's very thin.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you also are a big media star. You're constantly on the local news. We've got a clip from Fox 4. Let's go ahead and roll that.
Well, we always call up food expert Trey Chapman when we want to find the best dishes in the DFW area. And this one, that's a bit of a challenge because we're talking about chili and the best chili recipes. And that's hard because, so many people have so many different ways that they like chili.
Very much so. It was very challenging. I spent 3 months going to various restaurants all the way from Paris all the way out to Weatherford.
Right. And you have your own criteria.
Yes, I do. Yeah. My criteria is based on a flavor profile. So I don't like beans. Some people do like beans. But in Texas, those are fighting words, and my blog and my article explains that. But none of these chilies have got beans except for the vegan chili.
Well, and we were just talking. I judged a chili contest once, and I was told in Texas we don't have beans in the chili. So, and that's how I grew up, because I grew up in the north, and so it was a little different when you come down here.
It's very different.
Yeah,
they're
and
fighting
people
words.
are really serious about that.
Yeah, I know, they're very serious. They're fighting words.
All right, so let's start.
Okay.
What do we have here?
Over here we got Texas Spice, and Texas Spice is in the Omni Hotel in downtown Dallas.
Okay.
It's an all chef-driven concept. Everything's all prepared fresh. This is their red chili, and it has ground beef, strip loin, and pork belly. It has both proteins, beef and pork.
So a combination there.
Combination. Okay. It's a red, and it's got a little heat to it, and then they also serve it with their fried bread, which is stupid delicious.
You were telling me you're kind of addicted to that.
Yeah.
All right, so and next right here.
This is from the Rim in Burleson. This is Keith Hicks' Soul Glow Chili. So he says it's got soul in it, lots of love.
Soul, all right.
He's got beef and pork in that, and extracts to achieve a big bold flavor profile.
Okay.
And it's very, very good.
Okay.
Also, too, a lot of these guys use different cheeses, different beefs, and different ways they prepare it. So.
Well, and we've got onions and cheese on this one, onions and cheese here.
Yes. Yeah, just what's inside is going to be a little different.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. This
looks like jalapenos there.
Yeah, that's got jalapenos. This is 407 smoked brisket chili.
Okay.
And he takes his chili, smokes the brisket, and then hands chops all the brisket, and then makes the chili and puts it in the chili, and makes a chili with all his extracts and served with jalapenos, and you can see his cheese is different too, and onions.
So what does the brisket do for you in a chili versus beef?
I'm a big
pork?
barbecue guy, so it just changes the flavor profile. Versus ground beef versus brisket, it's a whole different flavor. It's a more meaty type flavor to me.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And you prefer that?
Yes, I prefer that.
Okay.
Yeah, I prefer that.
All right.
This is her time. This is a fantastic chili. This has smoked ribs and brisket, both of them in there.
Okay.
And he's got spices, he's got fresh garlic in there, but he puts 2 whole racks of ribs and a whole brisket in each batch he makes.
Wow.
And he calls it a meat gravy.
Meat gravy.
Meat gravy.
And this one also, just the cheese and the onion.
Cheese, onions,
and
that's just the way he
Okay.
serves it. Yeah, you can probably get jalapenos from him too as well, but he didn't give me any with that.
Okay. All right, and finally.
This is Anvil Pub in Deep Ellum. I'm sorry, that was her time. They're in Arlington. They're in Argyle, Texas. This is Deep Ellum Anvil Pub.
Okay.
And they have 2 different kinds. They have a regular chili and vegan chili. I chose the vegan chili because I wanted an option for vegans in the article.
Okay.
Their vegan chili is phenomenal. I went over and tried it. It's absolutely delicious. I tried both. Both their chilies are very good. But the vegan chili, and it's served with Fritos and sour cream and onions and then some vegan cheese.
And real quick, you talk about this on your blog.
Yes, I do. Yeah, TreyChapman.com.
Yeah. Okay. And then, of course, we have a link to your blog.
Yes, sir.
You can find the list of the best chili in the DFW area.
Yes, sir.
This looks and smells great.
It is. Delicious. I had fun doing it.
All right. That link is on our website, fox4news.com.
Wow. I can see why the media comes to you all the time. That's going to be fun for you, huh?
Yeah, it's fun. I like highlighting it. I like showing food in a colorful manner, and I like promoting those people that work hard to get there.
Well, something I love about you is it seems like you could go from the kind of hoity-toity to the greasy barbecue.
That's exactly right.
And float between societies.
Exactly what I do.
Yeah. How is that? So my wife was a film critic for many years, and I noticed something that happened in the film critic world that you would become a snob, and suddenly you couldn't enjoy just a Deuce Bigelow film.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, how do you maintain your objectivity when you eat food for a living?
I think I stay neutral. I stay neutral. I'm unbiased. I'm unpolitical, and I judge each food and each chef on their merits. I don't try to compare one chef to the other chef, because in reality you can't. It's like comparing 2 artists.
Yeah.
I mean, they're totally different. So
now, have you ever had an experience where you're going to do a review on somebody and they had a bad day? It didn't taste good. What do you do?
So here's my deal. This is funny because everybody told me it wouldn't work, but I don't ever listen to anybody.
Okay.
They said it wouldn't work. I built it on a positive platform.
Perfect.
So all I do is talk about good. I don't talk about any kind of bad whatsoever. So if I go to a restaurant and the food is bad or the service is bad, I just don't talk about them. I'll give them another chance. I'll go back. If it's bad, I might contact the owner of the restaurant, the chef, and say, hey, this is what happened. But that's how I do it. I just want a positive platform, and that way people that come to my show or come to watch my show or read anything I do, they know there's not going to be negativity or any bad mentions or anything. I just don't believe in it because they work hard.
Well, we're almost out of time, so this is your camera right here, Trey. Okay. Go ahead and look into the camera and encourage people to go out to eat and support these local restaurants.
I want y'all to please support local restaurants. You can go to TreyChapman.com. I have a list of restaurants there. You can also click on the button that says Chefs, and it'll take you a lot of celebrity chefs and what they do here in Dallas-Fort Worth and North Texas. We go all the way from Paris all the way to out by Abilene.
Oh my goodness, I love it. I just want to be you for about 24 hours. It sounds like you got a cool life. Okay, we're going to end by putting that website up so everybody can get a hold. TreysChowdown.com is the website.
That's it.
Trey Chapman, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Appreciate it.
You bet. And that's it for now. We'll see you next time.